Honestly, at 4x, it's looking pretty good. If you're in the market for a high quality webcam, we might have the option for you right here. We have the OBSBOT Meet series of webcams. One of them is 1080p, one of them is 4K. I did already check out the 1080p model. You can check that out right here, and I was actually thoroughly impressed. Spoiler alert. But now we're on to the 4K model because you might want to have that extra clarity depending on what you happen to be using it for, or just to show off in your online meetings. To each their own. This is the OBSBOT Meet 4K AI-powered webcam. It's a video conferencing webcam with AI capabilities such as auto framing, virtual background, PTZ functions so you can pan, tilt, and zoom digitally, and it can record up to 4K at 30 frames per second with a 4x digital zoom, as well as autofocus capabilities. So with that being said, let's get inside this box. It's looking nice as expected. I really like all this red. Meet your meat in 4K. Inside the box we do have a thick user manual, a USB-C to USB-A cable, a USB-C to USB-A adapter, a privacy cover, as well as a magnetic mount for your monitor. And we also have a drawstring bag to store it in and carry it around. And then onto the OBSBOT Meet 4K itself. Very lightweight, identical to the 1080p model. Let's get this removed. Although the only difference here is there is a red ring around it indicating that this is the 4K version. Now over on the front we do have some OBSBOT branding, a little LED indicator light. Down on the bottom we have a quarter thread mount in case you want to mount this to a tripod. Over on the back we do have a USB Type-C input, and then over on the top we do have a multifunction power button as well as a mode button so you can turn on auto framing. Now it's a very simple design, feels very solid and high quality, nice looking lens, about the size of a GoPro Hero, and overall a very nice looking webcam in 4K. So now with that being said, USB-C cable in, let's get it on the magnetic mount. Bam, just like so. It's very nice. I like that. And just like that, this is a 100% raw and unedited live video sample and audio sample coming directly from the OBSBOT Meet 4K. And honestly, this is looking very good. A definite upgrade from the 1080p model. Now speaking of the 1080p model, the one thing I didn't like about that one, and I'm sure it followed along to the 4K model, is the microphone quality isn't very good. It sounds very quiet and tinny and just overall terrible. I wouldn't recommend using it in a professional environment or even with your friends, because if you were talking to me sounding like this, I'd want to hang up as soon as possible. But this is what it sounds like. You should definitely have an external microphone, and if you're in a business setting, you probably have a headset and a microphone on anyway, so it shouldn't be an issue. And if you're streaming, same deal, but in a pinch, this is what you're going to sound like, so just keep that in mind. Now the video quality looks very good. Surprisingly, I mean, this is really good. I feel like this is the best 4K webcam I have tried so far, and I really like the design, and the quality is just looking good. Everything looks very smooth, just the audio quality, whatever. So with a single tap, before I do that actually, right now, no auto framing, it's just regular. Look at that, nothing's happening, you can just see everything. But with a single tap of the button, bam, auto framing, let's go. Okay, there we go. It's zooming in, it's following me around. So if I move over here a little bit, it's following me, very smooth. Yeah, pretty good, not bad. It's getting a nice close-up on me no matter what I do to make sure I'm in the frame as I'm talking and moving around. Although right here I'm pretty much on the edge because it doesn't have the widest field of view ever. So there's only so much you can do. But as you can see, looks very good, very solid. It just doesn't sound very good. Now with that being said, there's a few more options that you can do inside of the OBSBOT Meet app. So we're actually going to go inside that app and play around with that and check out all the different settings we can do. Alright, so now we are looking at the OBSBOT Meet Cam software. And this is still the microphone from the OBSBOT Meet itself. So this is what it sounds like. Although to be honest, I'll probably switch back to the studio mic because this sounds pretty bad. So moving on, we do have all these different settings here. We have software version, firmware version. We are up to date. I did just update it to make sure everything's working smoothly. We do have auto sleep mode, so when the camera's not being used, it'll automatically go to sleep to save power. Oh, let me get rid of that. Okay, there we go. You can adjust it between 30 seconds, 2 minutes, and 10 minutes. Then we have camera settings. So this is where you can manually adjust different things. We can have focus turned to auto, as you saw. But I guess it's on face. So maybe if I turn it to global, now it'll autofocus on the box? I don't know, it's not doing it. Compensation maybe has to be higher. Wait, or that's exposure. Hold on, I just messed up. Autofocus. So face, global. It doesn't look like it's focusing on stuff. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Maybe it's a glitch. We have HDR up here at the top. Let's see what that looks like. Ugh. Honestly, that looks terrible. What is this? I don't know what's going on here. Maybe you have to adjust more settings. That looks bad. So I'll just turn that off. Now we're looking pretty good. Then we have exposure. We're on auto right now. We could turn that off. And, you know, I guess this looks a bit more natural, right? Yeah, a little less washed out. And you can adjust the shutter speed, the ISO. Ooh, wow, there we go. Look at that. Oh, we can turn it all the way down. Looking pretty good, actually. Hold up. Let's see. Where would I put it? Something like this, perhaps? This actually looks pretty good. I'm really impressed with this camera. We have anti-flicker, 60 Hz, 50 Hz, or off. We have white balance. It's on auto. Let's turn that off. Okay, it looks a lot more brown. Although I like it better looking like this. You can adjust the color temperature if you want to. Then we can adjust the image with contrast. Okay, let's see. Let me just mess around with it. Saturation. Ooh, too much. Ooh, not enough. But look, you could go all throughout it. Sharpness. Turn up the sharpness. Ooh, look at the hairs. Oh yeah, big difference right there. And then we have the hue, which will mess up everything. I look like Shrek. So we'll just reset that. And, you know, very simple stuff here. Exposure, might as well turn everything. I liked it better. Turn it back down. Turn that down. Turn this a little down. It's kind of dark. Something like this. What else did I mess with? I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. You can mess with that if you want to. And then next we also have noise reduction, which is on by default. Kind of looks about the same. I'd probably just have it off. And then virtual background, which is in beta, but if you really want to, I've seen people do it. I don't really like it personally, but I guess if I'm somewhere I don't want people to see the background, then you can turn it on here. And there we go. We have the blur, and it's, I mean, actually doing a pretty good job. Not bad, although that is a lot of blur, so I'd probably bring it down a bit to make it look a little bit more natural. You know, it looks fine, but obviously it looks fake, and then you can have green screen, so I'm not sure why you would do this. I guess if you're playing it, oh yeah, obviously if you're streaming and you want to have your head, although, you know, it's not doing that great. I'd recommend getting an actual green screen, and then you can also replace the background with whatever you want. Custom images, you name it. Very cool. Turn that off, get back to normal. I like it better without it. Remote controller, if you happen to have the OBSBOT remote, you can control it. And that's pretty much it over here. Now if we go back to the camera, this is where things get pretty cool. We have device status, we can put it to sleep if we want to. And it looks like you might be able to connect more than one camera. Well, you can have auto framing turned on and off. So right now, auto framing is off, but we turn it on. And now it's gonna start locking on to me, just like so. Of course, you can still do that by pressing one time on the button on the camera without going into this app. You can adjust it close up and upper body. Looks like it's doing the same thing. It's kind of weird. You can also go between single mode if you're one person or group mode if there's multiple people. Very cool, easy to use. Turn that back off. And over here, you can actually adjust the field of view. 86 degrees is going to be completely zoomed out and full field of view. 78 is what? 1.15x, and then 65 degrees is 1.45x. And of course, we can zoom in all the way to 4x. And honestly, at 4x, it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with this. Wow. See, you probably wouldn't zoom in that close, although you could. See, if you just go to 2x. I don't know. This is honestly the best 4K webcam I have tried so far. Of course, we have EPTZ stuff, so we can actually move it around manually if we want to. We're like, oh, look over there. Look up here. Come back over here. Although I am noticing it is like reversed like a helicopter, so got to keep that in mind. Although going up and down isn't reversed, but left and right is. It's kind of weird. But yeah, pretty cool, and you can reset it back to the center just like so, and then also pick your field of view, but if you do that, it just jump cuts. So if you want it to be smooth, you're going to want to click on the zoom, and then it, you know, it smoothly pans in and out. Very good. The quality of this camera is surprisingly good. Like, come on, look at this. At 4 times zoom. Look at that. That looks surprisingly good for a camera this size. Now, of course, remember, this is a studio environment with a lot of lights, so we have to try it out with low light.
Sure, turning 3 lights off.
And this is what it looks like with just the laptop illuminating my face. And this is a pretty dark screen, as you can tell, and honestly, you can see me and it's surprisingly good. Let's see how well it can auto frame me in the dark. I don't think it should have a problem. Yeah, I think it's working the same. Yeah, it looks about the same.
Sure, turning on 3 lights.
But all in all, this is a very nice, high quality, built and sensor-wise, video quality-wise webcam, the OBSBOT Meet 4K. This is looking good. The auto framing works very well. The green screen stuff works decently. It's fine because you're not going to use this to make a Hollywood movie or anything. But everything's looking good. The 4K is definitely an upgrade over the 1080p model. Although, remember, if you're just using it for online video chats, meetings, schoolwork, yada yada yada, the 1080p model will definitely get the job done. But if you happen to be streaming or something and want that extra resolution and that extra zoom capability, this is a worthy upgrade because the 4K actually looks very good and very solid. I can definitely recommend this. It's easy to use. Actually, while I have this open, let me see if this works this time. So double tap. It said double tap would turn on the green screen. So I think I have to turn it on here. Okay, so if I turn it on here, and now if I double tap it, there we go. It did it. It turned blue, and now just like that. So whatever you have it set on. So I guess if we have it on blue screen, double tap, it should turn off or not. There we go, it turned off, and double tap, it should go back to where we had it. Alright, cool. So you set up the virtual background in the app and then it saves it to the camera, and whenever you double tap the button on here, it'll actually do it, although as you can see it's pretty bad. I'm bald right now. So let me just double tap it, turn it off. Double tap it, turn it off. Okay, the double tap's pretty finicky. It doesn't work sometimes. I guess you have to kind of slowly double tap it, like doot doot. I was doing a little too fast and it wasn't registering. A little bit weird, but it is what it is. Otherwise, a very solid camera. Very well made. It actually does feel a bit warm right now, but the quality definitely looks good, and I really like this magnetic attachment for the monitor, so you can easily just take it off and put it on without having to screw it on or do anything special. Very nicely designed webcam, and I definitely recommend it.